Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked where I climb the online VGC 20 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. You guys remember that last game we had on Road to Ranked yesterday? Well, I actually realized that it is a rental team that finished very, very high up. It was actually built by a Chinese VGC player, and they were able to get very, very high up on the ladder with this team. So I was like, I have to try this team out. I mean, it was so interesting yesterday, and yeah, in an episode that featured a lot of Blastoise and Dragalge, now we actually get to try it out. So, huge thank you to the creator for creating this team. I don't think the player we went up against yesterday was the original creator, but I found this team from a really cool account on Twitter that covers like a lot of Chinese VGC players, and this was part of a tweet that linked a bunch of really cool Rento codes. I think I want to try out some of those teams in the future as well, so I've linked that tweet in the description below, so feel free to give any of them a try and give that account a follow, because there's just a lot of cool team building going on there, and these are all teams that were able to top the ladder as well. So if you guys watched the last game of yesterday's episode, you'll know what to expect here, but there's two really strong Pokemon on this team in Dragalge with the weakness policy and adaptability. Combine that with Bulldoze Dusclops. You've also got double terrain with Banded Rillaboom and Indeedee, and then finally to close things out, Blastoise and Incineroar. I now realize actually the Rillaboom is choice banded, so yesterday I was thinking the critical hit I was thinking it might have been a damage roll to knock out our Rillaboom, but I actually think it probably just was a guaranteed knockout given that it is choice banded, so good to know that. But yeah, it's funny, I actually saw this team, didn't recognize it when we went up against it yesterday in the last game, but now I see it now and I'm like, oh, yeah, like I was originally wanting to try out Blastoise, and I remembered that Twitter account, and I was like, okay, that team had a Blastoise and a Dragalge. And as soon as I put this in, I was like, wait, this is literally the exact team we went up against yesterday. So I think a very fascinating team, and this actually kind of ties into the question of day I have for you guys, because Blastoise is an interesting Pokemon, right? We've used regular support Blastoise, but we haven't tried Gigantamax Blastoise yet, which is part of the reason why I thought like I really wanted to give this team a go. And the fact that this was able to get all the way onto the top of the ladder, I think shows that it's clearly not a gimmicky strategy, and it actually has a lot of potential if you bring it into the right matchup. So I'm curious what you all think about Blastoise. Let me know in the comments below, and let's get started with today's episode. As always, if you guys enjoy, please show your support by leaving a like in the video, and I'd really appreciate it. We're going up against Sun. It's been a while since I've seen Rhyperior, honestly. It's been a long, long time. Now, Rhyperior is a lot weaker because Rillaboom's in the format, and my opponent doesn't have Intimidate. So, despite my opponent having Torkoal, Charizard, and Venusaur, I think I still bring Rillaboom. Which is weird to say. This is interesting. Like, Blastoise, Indeedee. I mean, the Dragalge route is also pretty good here, but how do I really set that up properly? Yeah, I don't think you bring Primarina into this matchup. That seems really bad. And that is one of the bigger concerns for Dragalge, I guess. I could just go Indeedee Dusclops. Incineroar Dusclops works. Part of me really wants to bring Blastoise. That seems kind of crazy, but maybe it could work with the Show Smash. I think I'm going to go Incineroar Dusclops. I'm leaning towards the Dragalge route in this game. Especially because I could see them not up for the slow mode and go with like full Sun. If they go with Trick Room as well, this gets, no pun intended, a lot trickier. But we'll see. Either way, I'm eager to try this team out for a couple of games, because we had a really close game with against this team in the last game of yesterday's episode. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. And one thing I did in yesterday's episode, I'd actually love to get some feedback on this, is putting timestamps in the description below so that you know when to, or you can follow along, and you know when or when Team Preview starts in the battle and what Pokemon I go up against. So if that's something that people actually find useful, I'm totally down to, do that more often. So let me know in the comments below. This is not a good lead for us. It's actually very bad. There are Assault Vests as well, which is interesting, because they can just go for the G-Max Charizard into Dusclops. That's probably a one-hit KO, isn't it? Oh, man. That's so bad. I mean, I could fake out Torkoal and Trick Room here, but I'm pretty sure Charizard just dunks on us right now. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna max. So I could have gone NDD, because if I go NDD... if I go NDD, you just double Heat Wave, right? What do I actually lead against this? I don't see any good lead. Double Heat Wave is really bad. Dragalge outright is interesting, I guess. Unless somehow you don't one-shot the Dusclops here and we actually get Trick Room up. Oh, wow. Wait, they opted for Max Airstream. What? Why didn't they G-Max Wildfire into Dusclops? Okay. We take those. I mean, I guess they were just expecting Dusclops to switch out, but I don't really have a safe switch in, honestly, so... That's great. Was not expecting that, but that's great. However, it's still likely I just lose 2 Pokemon this turn. I mean, I want to switch into Dragalge and Bulldoze really badly here. I think I kind of just need to switch into Dragalge safely, though, honestly. So I'm going to double up on the Charizard. Yeah. Like, I probably lose both. Actually, I don't know if you can KO both Pokemon here. Nightshade for a little bit of chip. Eruption. That shouldn't KO us. And then probably G-Max Wildfire. That actually didn't really do very much to Dusclops. Get Darkest Lariat off. That's actually very good damage as well. And there's G-Max Wildfire. Yeah, I'm shocked my opponent didn't G-Max Wildfire last turn. And to go for Airstream is especially surprising as well. And the nice thing here is that this turn of G-Max Wildfire gets nothing off because we have Incineroar out. Okay, so I can now bring out the Dragalge. It's just still a tough spot to be in, though. Because of 3 turns of Trick Room. I don't know if Max Ooze KOs. Let's see. With adaptability, I would think Max Ooze KOs Charizard. So I kind of want to just U-turn here, Max and Ooze into Charizard. But Charizard could Max Guard here, which is the problem. Let's see if it goes for that. Either way, honestly, looking at what we had, Torkoal switches out. Wow. Into their own Dusclops. Okay. So this is really interesting because it means that I actually should get the U-turn off. Which is nice because it preserves Fake Out and I get a Ooze. So this could just be Dragalge sweeping right now. Because Torkoal's not going to do very much against it. Even if it has Earth Power, it's just going to activate our weakness policy. I could have switched out last turn. Like, Incin into the Dragalge and just Bulldoze. But I don't know how I feel about that. It does Max Guard. Okay. I could have really read into that and, like, doubled up. But, I mean, at least what I can do now is U-turn out. I get Rillaboom in for free. And then now it's like, what does Dusclops actually really accomplish? That's just frustrating because Ooze onto Dusclops there would have been so nice to get another boost. But it is what it is. Because now I have Choice Band Grassy Glide into the Dusclops. And Ooze is guaranteed safe play onto the Charizard. And Incineroar will deal with Dusclops once Trick Room is over. But I think the Max Guard was... I was just surprised to see Torkoal switch out there, but yeah, it makes sense. So we take, unfortunately, the G-Max Wildfire damage, but at the bright side, Grassy Terrain at least will heal us back a little bit. So in the end, it's actually not like an insane amount of damage. Okay. Yeah, pretty much 10%. So, Ooze into Charizard is pretty safe here, and I think I want to just... how many turns of Trick Room are left? There's still 2. So I don't want to Wood Hammer quite yet into the... Yeah, I mean, I think it's better to just lock into Glide, at least right now, and Ooze into Charizard. But, yeah, I think, like, Dragalge kind of sweeps this if I get 3 special attack boosts off, so... I had to respect the Charizard attacking there, though, right? Like, if it just goes for... If it doesn't protect and it just max Airstreams Dragalge, we probably just lose off that, so that's not a risk I was really willing to take. But I think Charizard Torkoal is a very good lead against what we brought here, because you can just double Heat Wave pretty much anything I bring. And nothing feels very safe against that, even with the Pokemon I have that resist it. Glide is almost a 2-hit KO. Looks like they're trying to reverse Trick Room. Which would make sense if you have Venusaur in the back, but Dragalge right now is honestly in a pretty good spot. I actually wonder if it was better to Wood Hammer there. So they've reversed Trick Room, but they're not bringing Torkoal out for sure, right? So it's like Venusaur, Rhyperior are the likely candidates here. We have one more turn of Max on Dragalge. The double up will KO the Dusclops at this point, I believe. And I should still outspeed Torkoal with Dragalge, which is why I don't think you bring the Torkoal in. That would be surprising to me. So I'm expecting Venusaur. Maybe they just Sleep Powder into Dragalge. Oh, they could have Earth Power, but that would proc her Policy if they have it. Max Lightning might have been worth it solely for the Venusaur option. Because by Max Lightning, I at least cover Venusaur and it can't put me to sleep. But Dusclops right now doesn't do very much for my opponent, which is good. I just am shocked they didn't just target down... Wait, Torkoal comes back out. Huh. Okay. Doesn't Dragalge outspeed? So, I mean, I'm leaning towards... Glide here and Wormwind into Torkoal. Because we know it's Assault Vest. Helping Hand. Does Torkoal outspeed us here? I wouldn't think so. It's really good damage. Yeah, okay. Max Wormwind. We take those? Question mark? I'm a little bit confused on their play this game, honestly. But this matchup didn't look very good, honestly, because they came up with an incredible lead. I think Torkoal Charizard destroys what we had. Unless Dusclops survives the G-Max Wildfire, which I think it might be a damage roll that's not in our favor, if I remember that damage calc correctly. It's been a while, though, since I've been in that scenario, so I don't remember off the top of my head. So yeah, now like, Dusclops is slower than us, right? So I don't know why you reverse Trick Room just to bring Torkoal in. Like, it would have made more sense for Venusaur to have come out. And it's Rhyperior as the last one. Huh. Okay. With that, this Choice Band did. So I think we just glide into Rhyperior. Let me just double check. 2 turns of terrain left, yeah. I don't know, glide into the Rhyperior and Draco it. Could switch out into Incineroar to play it safe. We could also just Draco the Dusclops here. I mean, they probably protect, right? Yeah, I don't know. That was weird. That was really weird. I don't know why they ended up reversing Trick Room. That worked in our favor more than anything. I think what you need to do there is Rillaboom beats the Dusclops and the Torkoal. Not the Torkoal, sorry. The Dusclops and the Rhyperior. So what my opponent needs to do in that position is basically position themselves to knock out the Rillaboom. So that's why I was surprised to see them reverse the Trick Room. However, even if you don't reverse Trick Room there, you probably bring the Torkoal back in because you can't justify bringing Rhyperior. And then what I can do is just go for Max Wormwind onto Torkoal, which honestly might be a knockout even without the Grassy Glide damage. But that was interesting. I just did not expect it to play out that way. Another Torkoal here, there's Goodra. Blastoise is interesting because it does, with the G-Max effect, get a lot off. But we're playing it into Goodra and Venusaur. Feels like Dragalge is probably more consistent here. Yeah, I kind of like the Dragalge. Like, Dragalge is really good against my opponent's team, it feels like. So, like, Dusclops, Indeedee with Dragalge in the back, and then Incineroar probably. So it's like the same Pokemon as last time, but with Indeedee this time around. I don't like Rillaboom that much. If anything, it even sets up the terrain so like Comfey heals more. I don't like that. I'd love to bring Blastoise today, but I think into a matchup with my opponent has Sun, Goodra, and Venusaur, just kind of hard to really justify it. Plus, Dragalge is so good here, right? I've got Max Wormwind into Goodra, Max Lightning for the Corviknight, Max Ooze into Comfey, and Torkoal doesn't do very much against us either. So, that last game was bizarre. I was honestly expecting to lose off turn 1. And Yeah, if G-Max Wildfire isn't a KO onto Dusclops, then we still had a chance, because we got Trick Room up in that game. Dragalge puts in work against the Charizard. Because my opponent committed to the like Charizard early game, but then they had not much late game offense when Rillaboom pressures, right? Okay, Comfey plus Gooey. That's fine. I mean, here it's probably just going to be Self-Draining Kiss, which goes before the Follow Me, unfortunately. And activate the Policy, but I don't even think that's too much of a problem. Yep, so there's Policy and Babiri. Good to note. You know what's also interesting? Not Trick Rooming turn 1 in case Comfey goes for Trick Room. I don't even think I need to Follow Me here, though. Goodra doesn't do that much damage, so I want to just KO Comfey, so I'm going to Expanding Force that slot. So Goodra maxes, that's fine. I actually think maxing in this scenario is actually more beneficial for me because I'm not doing much damage to Goodra anyway, so they're effectively wasting a turn of max. I mean, they would get a side effect off, right? Like, if it's max Wormwind, it's useless, but if it's max Ooze, you can get to +3 special attack immediately. Ah, Comfey's trying to reverse my Trick Room, it looks like. Okay, I'll take that. I mean, they just spent a turn maxing Goodra to reset the terrain, right? Like, I don't think that's actually too much of a problem. So I don't mind that too much, quite frankly. Because it means you don't get the weakness policy off immediately. But that was a really cool play. That's why I was thinking of just like Nightshading. Imagine Nightshading there, like we'd be in such a good spot because then another Nightshade's probably a KO onto Comfey. Now they can go for the Kiss. I don't want to switch NDD out into Insim here, honestly. Question is if they called it correctly again. Yeah, I don't think Intimidate's actually that important here. Let's see if they go for it again. Even if they go for it again, it means your Goodra doesn't get your the weakness policy off. So it's like I either get Trick Room up or you activate weakness policy. Yeah, I mean, activating weakness policy obviously does not scare me very much in this scenario when I have such bulky Pokemon. And now if I stall out Max, I think Dragalge wins. Okay, yep, they're going for it this time around. That's fine. Goodra's already taken a fair amount of damage. I guess you can just heal back that damage next turn, but this is okay. Nice play on my opponent's end turn 1, though. It's kind of the same play we were going for with the Porygon Z team previously. Yeah, they are going to Wormwind. I don't even know if this is a KO, though, on either Pokemon. That's a 1-hit KO on Dusclops? I don't think that's a KO without the crit. Oh, that is a terrible, terrible crit for us. Oh, man. Okay. I could have just gone for Follow Me to play it safe. And by not playing safe, I get punished, so kind of deserve that, I guess. That's a bummer. I think my play here is to protect. I mean, they probably target the... If I'm my opponent, I'm honestly targeting the Incineroar. But I still think I like Protect and U-turn here. That is such a bad crit. Yeah, I should have played it safer, I guess, and just gone for Follow Me. I didn't think we were in any danger of getting knocked out that turn. To add insult to injury, the ally switch comes out. I have Geyser as well, yeah. So I could have attacked there, but the thing is, I wouldn't have called it correctly anyway. Yeah, I mean, my whole game plan was to set up Trick Room. They made a nice play turn 1, and then the crit turn 2 is just pretty much a disaster. I don't think Wormwind is a KO without the crit there. Let me actually double check Dusclops' spread real quick. Yeah, it's sassy too. Unfortunate. I want to calc that real quick just to make sure that it's not even a roll. I don't think it's a roll, quite frankly, but I want to confirm that. Just because if it is, even if it's a roll, then it means I should have always gone for Follow Me. I guess even if it's not a roll, I should have. But like we got pretty lucky in yesterday's episode, so who am I to complain? Yeah, this is definitely not a KO, I don't think. How much bulk do we have? This has 143 and 188 speed def, so it's not max, but yeah, if you're curious what the damage roll is, it does 70 to 82%. So that's kind of heartbreaking, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna max now. Man, the ally switch is also what makes this so scary. Can we win if just with Dragalge? I don't think so. I'm gonna make a crazy play because I'm so far behind that I'm like, okay, I think the only way we can win this is to like come out of this turn where they ally switch and go for Draco into the Indeedee. Now, from my opponent's perspective, you should always target Dragalge because I protected last turn. But because we're so far behind, we're basically hoping for a throw at this point. So this is a good example where, did I get unlucky? Yeah, but I could have mitigated that by RNG by just going for a safe follow me Trick Room. That being said, they could have, of course, reversed the Trick Room. Okay, so let's see if they ally switch. I mean, like... Okay. I mean, if they miss a Draco or if they targeted Indeedee. They went for... Yeah, this is what I mean. You gotta go for those big plays to even have a shot. Okay. Now, I'm not saying there's a chance because we're still so far behind, but I needed to call this turn correctly, and I do. But, to be honest, I think from my opponent's perspective, you should always go for the Dragon-type attack into Dragalge, because I protected last turn anyway, you're at +2 special attack. At what do you have to lose, right? You either KO Dragalge, even if you don't KO, you do a ton of damage, and if not, it goes into Indeedee. So... when you're so far behind, you need to rely on your opponents making suboptimal plays. So you need to figure out... and they bring out Torkoal. Like, this is doable now, actually. Why bring out Torkoal, actually? That's surprising to me. Because now I can max Ooze and Expanding Force. Actually... nah, I should Ooze. Question is whether I read into another ally switch. I think I do, honestly. I really think my opponent ally switches again. I don't... like, the fact Torkoal comes out here means, like, I'm surprised that's my opponent's best option. Okay, that works for me, too. Because now I get a special attack boost on the Indeedee. This would be the sickest comeback, honestly, in a while. Okay. I don't mind that, because... I still get the Ooze boost off, which means Indeedee's Expanding Force does even more the subsequent turn, and I actually can just pick up a double knockout pretty safely, I think. So that was kind of a bizarre play, honestly. Wow, that would have been a 1-hit KO into Torkoal. Dragalge is... oh, that was a crit. Okay, I was like, I'm surprised it does that much as I Ooze. But now, I can just Expanding Force. I don't even have to potentially play around Ally Switch. And just Ooze again. So, Ooze, Expanding Force into Indeedee. Yeah, it should just be a double knockout. So they might need to go for a double protect. I guess, I mean, what's their last one going to be? Urshifu is scary? But if it's Urshifu, does Dragalge win? Like, I think Dragalge Indeedee would win against that. Torkoal switches out now. Ah, it's Corviknight. Okay. I should have Max Lightning to cover that option. I think. We would have won if I just Max Lightning there. And I think Max Lightning is the correct play to cover the Corviknight switch out. Like, I was worried about changing the... that's a lot of damage on the Corviknight, by the way. Like, Dragalge, I think, still wins this by itself, honestly. Because now what I want to do this next turn is protect the Indeedee Thunderbolt into Corviknight. That should be a KO at +1 special attack. I'm just really surprised they brought... I guess they... I mean, I don't know. Like, the fact we're even in this is crazy, given how the early game was. There's only 2 turns of terrain left, though, so... actually, maybe it's just better to Expanding Force here. Right? Because, like, that does so much damage into Torkoal. Even if Torkoal protects, I have Sludge Bomb, which will just KO that. So Expanding Force Thunderbolt here actually feels fine. Okay, they don't protect with either Pokemon. How much is that into Torkoal? That's a knockout. This is actually definitely one of the sicker comebacks we've had on this channel. Assurance. Don't see that every day. And Indeedee survives. I cannot believe... and it was a crit! Dude, what? As I said, sometimes you have to hope for your opponent to make suboptimal plays. And I feel like that happened... like, I don't feel really great about my play in Game 1 or Game 2 today, honestly, because it was more relying on my opponents making mistakes than me playing consistently well. However, I think this is a critical component to being good in VGC. Oh, I don't want to switch teams. The ability to identify and capitalize off mistakes from your opponent's end. Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, we're staring down a +2 Goodra. Yeah, like, you have to go for those big plays because I don't see how else I even win that game otherwise. If my opponent also just plays it like safely and they Draco, we're done for. So yeah, that is a dub. We take those. We absolutely take those. I feel like I gotta use Blastoise, man. Can we get away with Blastoise in this one? I feel like we can. I feel like we can. There is Tailwind though, which means that even if I Shell Smash, they can give us some trouble. Dragalge is safer. Is it though? There is Tyranitar on my opponent's end, which is kind of a problem. I don't know, they don't have terrain control. What if I just go NDD Blastoise in the lead, Instant for Intimidate, and call me crazy, but Rillaboom? Well, let's try it out, even if we lose. Getting experience with this team is valuable, and figuring out how to play it to the best of our abilities is valuable. Once again, anytime you're trying out a brand new team, I think like just grinding out a couple of games, seeing what's working team preview-wise and what's not is important, and then always ask yourself, did I bring the right 4 Pokemon, and if not, what should I have brought? Okay, Whimsicott Togekiss. That's not too bad. I wonder if you just Dazzle here. The problem, right, is if I Shell Smash, I get the speed boost. Wait, let me actually double check how fast this Blastoise is. Yeah, Togekiss should be faster if it's max speed, which I'm assuming it is. Unfortunately for us. I could just max this thing immediately and just go for the G-Max move. It's actually a pretty tempting option. Like, Helping Hand? It's just a question of whether, do I think Togekiss is offensive here? If I take care of Togekiss, though, I don't know. Instant Rillaboom is pretty good in the back. Yeah, honestly, I think I'm going to play super aggressively turn 1. I'm actually expanding forcing here, because that plus G-Max Cannonade maybe knocks out Whimsicott. Togekiss does max, okay. I just think I can't get away with Shell Smash with this lead. Specifically because of Kiss Maxes as well, right? Like, it's going to be faster under Tailwind for sure. Even without Tailwind, it's probably faster. So here, the upside is that NDD will outspeed, and because of the Focus Sash, I'm guaranteed expanding force. And yeah, I was thinking about Helping Hand G-Max Cannonade, but it's not a knockout anyway, I don't think. I don't even think Helping Hand Max Ice is a KO. Blastoise just isn't super strong. So if I at least get the G-Max effect going for the next couple of turns, that's pretty good. I'm still thinking about that second game, dude. That was crazy. That was actually crazy. We take those. That's why you never give up in Pokemon, man. Okay. Oh, the NDD is slower than Togekiss. I didn't expect that. That's bad. It's bad for a bunch of reasons, because now they changed the terrain and they managed to crit us as well. So that's like actually like the worst case scenario. Okay, so I'm guessing NDD isn't max speed. I was assuming it was max speed. Yeah, it's actually pretty slow. It's slower than the Blastoise. Oh, that's actually a really interesting team building decision. Still pretty good damage on the Togekiss though, right? Like, it's gonna faint after next turn. So honestly, I actually don't think we're in a terrible spot either way, but yeah, if terrain were still up, it would have been beautiful. Yeah, when I saw Sash, I just assumed it. Yeah, it's not speedy. How much speed is that actually? Because this is an outspeed min speed. Yeah, it's actually no speed on NDD. It's max HP, max special attack, or almost max special attack. Okay, cool, makes sense. I'm gonna follow me here and Hailstorm. I think Togekiss might max guard here, but it doesn't. Okay. Like, if I trade Togekiss for NDD, I think that's honestly a pretty favorable trade. Especially if we don't get crit by Togekiss. We might even survive with NDD. Yeah, I think we might. Let's see if they crit. It also might just be an outright knockout. Okay. I mean, it's obviously crit kiss, so it's not like I can really complain there, but I think I have to trade. I have to knock out Togekiss here. But honestly, I mean, like, this isn't terrible because, like, now I have Hail and the G-Max residual, so Whimsicott's slowly ticking down. I get to bring a Fake Out user. So, what was in the back? Cinderace. I think we bring an Incineroar here for Fake Out and Intimidate. Yeah, like, this Whimsicott is gonna get dangerously close to fainting just from the residual. Yeah, there's no reason to not go for Hailstorm there, I think. Oh, actually, the reason would be to not take as much damage onto Blastoise. But I don't think the chip is actually too bad for us here. So let's go out in an Incineroar because it has Fake Out. And I think we potentially survive a Moonblast from the Whimsicott. Okay, Tyranitar comes out. That's great to see. That is great to see. Especially because we know we have Banded Rillaboom in the back. So this thing isn't really a threat. Let's see who's faster. Okay, they're going to be faster than us, but that's fine. Fake Out. It's obvious here, but still pretty safe to go for. Who's in the back? Urshifu or Cinderace? Part of me wants to switch out, reading into a Protect. I don't want to activate a Policy here. I think it's pretty safe to Fake Out into Whimsicott and Cannonade. Or just Hailstorm into... Fake Out Hailstorm into Whimsicott. Denies them Tailwind. And then Rillaboom, I think, cleans up. Because you don't KO either Pokemon here with Tyranitar. Okay, Tyranitar doesn't Protect. I wanted a Cannonade that slot so badly. Oh. Now that's interesting. I could have just faked out Tyranitar and knocked out Whimsicott too. Wait, that would have been smarter, wouldn't it have? And Cinderace is in the back, so Cannonade would have been super sick. But now Rillaboom maybe just KOs everything with Glide. I should have Cannonaded there, because I think it would have knocked out Whimsicott anyway after the residual. I didn't expect a Eject button. That was nice. Okay, he's gonna Lash Out. Do I faint here? I actually want to faint. I don't think I do. Oh, we do. Okay, that's huge, potentially. So I get Rillaboom out now. The question, I guess, is whether Banded Grassy Glide KOs the Cinderace. I don't... Oh, after Cannonade damage? I think it does. I think it does. Pretty sure it does. Which is why this effect is just so insane. So let's go out on a Rillaboom. Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't see what's stopping me from just going for Glide onto Cinderace. I don't want to activate a Policy on Tyranitar, so I'm just going to Flare Blitz it, because we can burn that way. And because we're Choice Banded, I think Glide into Cinderace is pretty safe. Could I have gotten away with targeting Tyranitar? No, because I think Cinderace is less likely to carry Protect here. Okay, no Protect. Choice Band Grassy Glide. Beautiful. Beautiful. That should be a win. Unless Tyranitar crits us here. Because Rillaboom's not taking much. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. And now I can just Glide into Tyranitar and Flare Blitz into Whimsicott. Perfect. Yeah, the Cannonade damage was huge here. I wasn't expecting a Eject button, I gotta say, so that caught me off guard. But yeah, the fact that my opponent committed max on Togekiss is actually what I wanted to see, because I thought a late game Cinderace max would be really scary. So even though we ended up getting crit on both the Blastoise and the Indeedee, it actually ended up being fine. And that's why, like, these residual effects are so good, especially if you knock out a max Pokemon. Because at this point, my opponent was just taking so much residual damage every turn, and the max Hailstorm was actually really nice, so that I get the residual from Hail as well. Although right now it's obviously cancelled, but with Whimsicott coming out, I think Glide into Tyranitar, Flare Blitz into Whimsicott is pretty much foolproof, especially because Tyranitar is at -1. However, I don't think I played this game perfectly. What I could have done was faked out Tyranitar, max Hailstorm into Whimsicott. Actually, no, that's not a winning play, is it? Because then the Cinderace comes in for free. And I actually probably lose the Cinderace at that point, right? Okay, they needed a crit there, but they don't get it. But there's no reason for me to play, to make any other play in this position. I just have to Flare Blitz Slide, hope for no crit. Even with the crit, I'm not sure we're actually getting KO'd there. It would have been dangerously close, but yeah, we're fine. So, turn 1, I should have known Immunity was slower than Blastoise, and as a result, slower than Togekiss as well. So for that reason, I'm not sure the Expanding Force was a great play. Helping Hand Cannonade might be better. Because Blastoise is never fainting there. And if my opponent doubles up on Immunity, then I don't get any damage off there. So I would have liked to gone for Helping Hand Cannonade turn 1, I think. But in the end, yeah. The eject button actually, I think, in the end saved us here. Because without the eject button, Cinderace doesn't take the chip damage, and then I don't think we actually can knock out Cinderace easily. So, yeah. The fact that it was able to take that chip meant that Cinderace couldn't cleanly sweep. Because, like I said, I think a late game Cinderace would have been very scary to go up against in this matchup. So I was happy to see the Togekiss max early, but I also couldn't just go for Shell Smash specifically because if I go for that and Togekiss is going to outspeed us, if you crit with Dazzling Gleam, like we don't even have White Herb, so you just do so much damage with the Dazzling Gleams, compounding with crits and us not being max. So I'm curious about the team. Let's see. So it's Urshifu with Sash, Thunderbolt, Eviolite, Protect, Scope Lens, Kiss. Yeah, no Protect on the Cinderace, Eject Button, Switcheroo, and then Last Shout, Weakness Policy Tyranitar. Got it. Alright, that was a crazy episode. Honestly, like the first 2 games I thought we were going to lose. This last one was honestly really nuts as well. So I don't think I played super well today, but it is our first time trying out the team. So a lot of good lessons, I think, to learn from it. That second game, honestly, has got to be, I think, one of the more enjoyable comebacks I've had in a while. So the fact that we actually pulled that off was absolutely crazy. But overall, just a lot of really fun games. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you as always for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys soon. Alright, peace.